Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the FDP program. Before we start, a quick recap again for the yesterday's FDP session. Yesterday, it was an insightful session under the faculty development program on AI in finance, algorithmic trading, and credit scoring. The first session was conducted by Mr. Gaurav Bora, Managing Director at Lux IT and Business Solutions. He introduced us to the world of algorithmic trading, explaining how AI is used to automate trading strategies, improve efficiency, and make data driven financial decisions. After that, the second session was delivered by Mr. Shafiq Yelikar, technology architect, who highlighted the role of AI in credit scoring. He elaborated on how machine learning algorithms help financial institutions assess risk, predict defaults, and enhance credit decisions. Both sessions were informative, of course, and gave us practical outlook on how AI is shaping the future of finance. Over to you, Dr. Sarita, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Rupali ma'am, and good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes,
Am
you
I
are
audible?
audible.
Thank you. Good afternoon once again. I hope you all are energized and ready because we have reached the final day of what's been an insightful and action packed journey. I am Dr. Sarita Sampson, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to day 5 of a deep dive into functional AI opportunities. Over the past few days, we have explored how artificial intelligence is not just a buzzword, but a game changer across industries from marketing and HR to supply chain and finances. And that's bring to us today, day 5. Hope you have had a refreshing break and are ready to jump back in because this afternoon is going to challenge how we think about AI, not just a tool, but as a mindset shift. First, a big thank you to you, Ms. Rupali Moda, for walking us through the highlights of the past 4 days. It's been a packed week of insight and learning, and you brought it all us together so well. So here, what we are focusing on today, AI for enhancing management proficiency. Now, let's be honest. Management is no longer just about instinct and experiencing. It's about data driven decision, predictive insights, real time adaptability, and AI is what's make that shift possible. Whether it's a supply chain, marketing, HR, or finance, AI is reshaping how decisions are made and, more importantly, how leaders think. And speaking of leadership and innovation, our resource person today bring a fascinating lens to this theme. We usually don't associate that energy sector with academic learning models, but that's exactly why today's session stands out. Our expert speaker will take us through what academia can learn from AI adoption in energy industry. Now think about that. The energy sector, with its complex infrastructure, demand forecasting, sustainability goals, dynamics market, and has quietly become a hotbed for AI innovation. Now, there are lessons in agility, predictive modeling, real time decision making that academia can absorb. Now, just for research, but for pedagogy, curriculum, and future ready learning. So today, it's not just about seeing what possible with AI, but it's about learning how to transfer those breakthrough into how we teach, design system, and prepare our future manager. And to guide us through this, we are joined by the truly distinguished expert, Mr. Sunil Manikhani, sir, who is data science leader at SLB. He is a team leader at SLB with over 17 years of experience in data science, analytics, and software development, working on various projects in the oil and renewable energy domain. He is also a doctorate research in generative AI, focusing on developing large language models for carbon management and decarbonization. He is a passionate about applying his skills and knowledge to solve real world problems and create positive impact for the environment and society. He's an international data science trainer for several clients in Middle East with special focus on oil and gas and sustainability domain. Not only this, he is also bagged many awards. Few of them are SLB Blue Scarf winner, NLP Hackathon, O2 Award winner, Beijing Asia Sustainability Hackathon winner, SLB Wow Award winner for technical innovation. Apart from that, Sir has also gained certification in Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, built ML pipeline using data IKU, serverless machine learning with SensorFlow on Google Cloud Platform. He is also a Microsoft certified Azure Fundamental Big Data and Machine Learning Fundamental. He has worked closely with AI deployment in large-scale systems from predictive maintenance of turbines to real-time load balancing and brings valuable lessons that management, educator, and learner need to hear. So let's welcome digitally, clapping our hands to welcome Mr. Sunil Manikani, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Dr. Sarita, thank you so much for setting this up. Is my voice audible? Is it okay for all?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
Sunil, you're
absolutely.
audible.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for setting this up beautifully. Very well summarized. The 4 days have been, I was told that there was very high engagement, very good participation. So this is the final installment, right? And I hope, you guys have the same amount of energy and enthusiasm for this particular session as well. So thanks once again. Thanks for having me. Um, so I'm going to start sharing my screen and just let me know once the screen becomes visible. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Can you see it in the full screen mode?
Visible.
Can you see it in the full screen mode? Should I swap the display presentation?
Yes, you can show your films video.
No, no, no. Sorry. Eh, are you able to see the first slide?
So,
Hello?
No, not yet.
So the slide is visible, sir, but it's not in the presentation mode.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. I'll swap it. Yeah. Just sharing again.
duplicate slide was.
Mhm. I'm just gonna switch on the. Is it better now? Can you see the full screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Now
Very
it's
much.
perfect.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, so if there are questions, just let me know, Sarita ma'am. I'll what I have is full screen at my visibility over here. That means I cannot see the people who are chatting, but I can periodically go away from the full screen and see what
I,
responses are there. But if there are important questions, just interrupt me. Okay, by no way
yes,
this is
sir.
going to be a one-way stream. It's going to be a two-way stream. It's going to be very interactive. I'm going to ask you questions, take your feedback and comments as well. Feel free to reach out and share your thoughts. Um, so there is one slide each for every genre, right? So last 4 days, think of them as verticals. Okay, so you did finance, you did operations, HR, etc. Very engaging sessions. But now what how I coined this particular session for you is that it is like a horizontal to all these verticals. So we'll discuss, or it's a good refresher again for all those terms and terminologies to come back. But what I did is I packed in energy sector, right? Because I've done 17 years in energy sector. And then the question is, as telling Sarita ma'am, Abhay sir, what can we do? Because this is energy, and of course, like Sarita ma'am clearly mentioned that the imperative is high. I mean, the stakes are high in energy sector. Just definitely a lot of things to be learned from. So how I coined this whole thing or my entire presentation is um, you should be able to drop parallel with what you've done for the 4 days, and then we'll see what a very interactive session of what academia should do, and I'll give you my side of things so that the future leaders are ready. Okay, so target audience are all of you guys. Thanks for joining, educators and academic leaders. right? My sincere thanks to Abhay sir, Sarita ma'am, and Harshad Patil. Thank you. So, very brief agenda, right? What we'll do is we'll navigate the AI in the energy and link it to academia, as I was saying. We'll do evolving energy landscape and AI imperative. I'll introduce how AI is very becoming very crucial in a changing landscape of energy sector. We'll look at foundational AI, explore foundational AI applications that enhance energy operations. We'll look at generative AI. Show of hands, how many actually have heard about LLMs and okay, so this is my screen. Yeah. So show of hands, how many actually know about generative AI, large language models, and have you worked with them? Of course,
Yes, sir.
everyone has. Come on. Yeah. So is there a way
Yes,
you
sir.
can? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Right. So we'll briefly talk about how do you apply all of these things to the energy sector. Um, And then we'll so one slide each where I want the finance gurus, the marketing gurus, the HR gurus who are present over here to share. I'll share my perspective of how energy is sector overall is, using or applying in this various substreams, and you can then share your opinion. And then what we do is we'll summarize everything, right? We'll do key learnings for academia. What I'll give you my perspective of what the career path looks like, and where I need all your help to basically build the next generation of managers. So how do we basically incarnate that culture, right? And we'll see how we can have a good discussion on how do we bridge industry and academia. So we'll start with this. I just want to, formally introduce to you the evolving energy landscape, right? It's pretty dynamic. So global energy demand and transition to renewables is one of the key. So I have a slide for you. It basically shows this is International Energy Agency. It is basically showing you this diagram, which is actually telling us how oil and gas, which were very predominant in 2015, in 2025, slowly their share is basically going down. And so by the way, what is this diagram called? This diagram has got a special name. Can anybody tell me what is this diagram? What is the name of this diagram? What chart is this? It's become very popular
It
these
is
days.
sir, can I speak?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
It is mentioned there, some energy. Actually, we are the energy investment landscape is that graph.
Right. So this graph, thanks. Yeah, of course, this is related to that. But this graph is called as a Sankey diagram. Okay, it's getting very popular. A lot of business analysts are using this to show flow of things, right? How money is flowing, energy is flowing, or any kind of flow. If you want to show, then it's very good in analyzing that. So it's called Sankey diagrams, right? Getting very famous, very popular. So what it's showing us is in the year 2015 versus 2025, where was the investment in billion USD dollars, right? So where you see these thick lines for oil and natural gas, you would now see the rise of renewables, right? So you see how much is the money getting circulated in terms of investments, and you see that renewables are slowly getting higher and higher weightage, right? Going ahead, we talk about something which is called as energy transition, right? So my company, for example, has pledged by 2050 we'll be carbon neutral, right? And renewables and rapid electrification, low emission fuels, these will gain a lot of traction. What that tells us is that the global energy demand is changing, it's transitioning all the time. Now, if you were to think of the whole world and energy transition of the whole world, right, it's just not business as usual. You need AI, you need handling complexity, you need to optimize operations, you need to accelerate innovation and enhance resilience. And all of that is possible only with the help of applications of AI inside energy industry. Right? There are different challenges. We'll talk about grid stability, resource optimization, climate change, again directly related to oil and gas. Right? All the carbon which is present inside the Earth's atmosphere going to basically leading to global warming is directly linked to the fossil fuels. Right? So oil, natural gas, coal, all of them form these fossil fuels. And how can you get rid of it? um, uh, you can't do it overnight. Okay, so we call it as energy transition. We'll be net zero by 2050, right? So there's a generational gap which is coming, right? So how do you plan for this? How do you decarbonize? And all of these things are becoming slowly the talk of the town, right? It's the evolving energy sector. um, these are some of the key challenges: sustainability, efficiency, and it becomes very important to take help of automation and AI. And we'll be talking a lot about all of these things. So hope the background is clear. Hope what we are going to focus on for the next 1 hour, right? The key message over here is that energy sector, like other sectors, has faced unprecedented challenges, right? They come in the form of transitioning from classic thinking to renewables, right? But they come with certain goals, right? So when I talk about renewables, we talk about wind turbines, we talk about solar energy. I have some videos for you to I'm going to share with you. um, Now, all of this is not easy, and and it makes AI a pretty critical enabler. Okay, so how do you do it, right? And the classic machine learning, data science were talk of the town in the 2020s, but a new kid has come to the block, right? It's called generative AI, right? So so let me actually ask you this, right? Let me actually throw the ball, right? What is your understanding? Is somebody keen to tell me about generative AI? How is it different than classic things which we've been doing till 2020? It's a buzzword since 2023 when ChatGPT got released, right? But trust me, we were working on generative AI since a lot of time because of the challenges in the energy industry. But who wants to take a stab at it, right? Does somebody want to explain me what is generative AI?
So it is about generating the data like text, images, and all. It's not it less coding and it's more generation. We are not analyzing anything. We are trying to generate the things, generate the new data. That is what it is. Like.
Right, Hina, Dr. Hina, thank you. Thank you for putting things into perspective. Absolutely, I agree with you. Right now, I'll tell you why it's becoming important. Right. Let me actually give you an example, a very classic example of. Um, so the earlier models, right? Am I able to see a pen, right? So the earlier models, which were from the genre of artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural networks, they were actually discriminative in nature. That means if I have a donkey and a mule, right? So if all these points correspond to in the space, in the hyperspace, right? If they correspond to, say, for example, a donkey, and all these points corresponds to a horse, right? The algorithms, what they used to do were to basically draw a boundary between a donkey and a horse, right? So they used to learn the boundary conditions and then identify what species is this and what species is this, right? Now a new type of algorithm has come, right? What it does is it learns the joint probability of a particular species, right? So now what's on the boundary? What do you call a species who is half donkey and half horse? What do you call a species which is half donkey and half horse?
Mule.
Yeah, it's a mule. It's a hybrid, right? So if I have all the photos of horses over here, if I have all the photos of donkeys over here, right, a breed which is a crossbreed, which is a hybrid between the two, a mule, would have characteristics of both the species, right? And over here, one critical thing to basically know is that generative models are precisely doing that. It is creating new hybrid species. So they have not even looked at mules, but they can create images of nudes, and that is where generative AI is discriminatory. As Dr. Hina rightly pointed out, it creates new things, but in this case, it's creating hybrids. Right, a very typical example in our industry is because of the climate change. Right, we want to absorb um, all the carbon inside the atmosphere of the earth. Right, so what we do is we design certain hybrid chemicals. We call them as sorbents. Sorbents is basically, it takes carbon dioxide out of earth's atmosphere, and it basically puts it, it basically is a absorbent. Right, and how do you basically coin an absorbent? Right, there are some properties which we know of certain chemicals which fall over here, which are good sorbents, and over here which are extremely likely to be repulsive. And then you mix the two using generative AI algorithms and create new species of sorbents which will capture carbon from the atmosphere of the earth. So pretty interesting. The applications are pretty diverse. But yeah, the world is focusing towards um, these generative models, right? So we had artificial intelligence, machine learning dominated, deep learning dominated till 2023, and now a special field. So now this diagram is called as a Venn diagram. That means generative AI is a part of neural networks itself. And now, now, now the things which are dominating are large language models and vision language models, right, which help you generate new things. Okay. So yeah, so that's generative AI. So it is going beyond what will happen. So what will happen was basically described very well by machine learning, and what could happen is the future prediction, right? And how can we design it is all answered by generative AI. Now, some of the key technologies are large language models, GANs, and I don't know if you heard about agentic AI. How many of you have heard of the term agentic AI? In the last 4 days, this term would have been a buzzword, I'm pretty sure. Heard of agentic AI? How many of you heard of agentic AI? The rise of agents. Did you listen about the term agents in the last 4 days? Okay, if not, then yeah. Sorry, somebody's speaking. Yeah.
Actually, no, sir, we have not heard anything.
Okay, don't worry. So the next slide is precisely for that, right? It is basically
Yes.
taking the large language models and automating it, right? By the way, talking of that, right? Let's look at this particular section of the slide where I have a nice video for you, right? And I type in this text and I say generate a time lapse video of a wind turbine which is undergoing maintenance, and then pay attention to technical details like corrosion, right? And trust me, such a wind turbine does not exist. It is generated by VO and is by Gemini, and let's actually see this, right? A very high quality video which is being generated. You can see the people and the folks working on corrosion items, right? If you basically look at the video again, you will see that some of the details like the wind turbine is not very complete, but very photorealistic image of video of what I asked it to generate. By the way, what is this called? What is this called? So this was generated by a generative model, which was a large language model. It's a large language vision model. Okay. But by the way, what is this called? What is this text called? There's a special name for this. It's called as prompting. Okay, you prompt the machine to basically give you final details, right? Now let's actually look at agentic AI, and what it is, and from a perspective of energy sector, what can agentic AI bring to the table?
Energy is booming. But what if we could make it smarter, more efficient, and fully autonomous?
Able to listen
That's
to
where
our
agentic AI, powered by multiple large language
Yes,
models,
sir.
or LLMs, comes in. In this video, we're diving deep into how this tech is transforming solar infrastructure. Stick around. This is for the experts. Let's start with the basics. Agentic AI is artificial intelligence that doesn't just think, it acts. It's like a brain that runs your solar farm, making decisions 24/7 to optimize everything from energy output to grid stability. Traditional systems need humans to tweak settings or react to data. Agentic AI, it handles it all autonomously. And it gets even better when you add multiple LLMs. LLMs are AI models trained on massive data sets to understand and process information like experts. Here, we've got one for forecasting energy output, another for managing the grid, and a third for predicting maintenance. Together, they're a powerhouse, and the agentic AI is the conductor. So how does it work in today's solar infrastructure? Picture this. The AI pulls in data from everywhere: panel sensors, weather forecasts, grid signals. Each LLM digs into its specialty. The forecasting LLM crunches weather and historical data to predict how much energy you'll generate. The grid LLM figures out when to store or sell that energy based on demand. The maintenance LLM scans sensor data to catch issues early, like a failing inverter, before it's a problem. The agentic AI ties it all together. It takes those insights, weighs the options, maybe using reinforcement learning, and acts. Tilt the panels, store energy, schedule a technician, done, in real time. The payoff is huge. Efficiency goes up because the system's always optimizing. Think 5 to 10% more output without extra hardware. Costs drop with predictive maintenance and less waste. And reliability, rock solid, even when the weather or grid throws curveballs. It's scalable too. From a small rooftop array to a giant solar farm, the AI adapts. And as new tech rolls out, like advanced batteries, just train a new LLM and plug it in. Now let's dream big. This tech could run autonomous microgrids, balancing solar with wind and storage. It could trade energy in real time, maximizing profits, or pair with IoT for pinpoint control over every panel. The future of solar is autonomous, and it's already starting. There are challenges, sure. Getting clean data, syncing with old systems, scaling the compute power. But the potential, it's transformative. Solar farms won't just generate power, they'll think. Agentic AI with multiple LLMs is here, making solar infrastructure smarter, cheaper, and more reliable.
Okay, slightly lengthy video, but I hope you got a very good glimpse of what is agentic AI, right? Long story short, it takes these large language models. You've used ChatGPT, right? So ChatGPT is one of the examples of large language models. So what it does is it takes these large language models and does a task for you, right? Say, for example, I want to do a task of, booking my holiday, right? Then what does it take? It takes a research, where do you want to go? What is your budget, etc. So all these are agents who will look at your particular requirement and then act autonomously, right? The keyword over here is autonomously, right? So LLMs are just machines which, when prompted, give you answer, but agents are sophisticated autonomous machines which can decide and do course of actions. Till 2022, 2023, programming was one of the key. Now over here, inside programming, the autonomous guys were the developers who used to develop. Right now, that is getting changed, and it is shifting towards agents, which can actually have certain autonomy with them and can independently decide what to do. Right? It definitely comes with a lot of challenges, right? Like ethical, responsible AI. I have a full slide for that, and we'll definitely talk about it. But I hope it's clear now what are agents and what is agentic AI, and how it can massively transform other industry. Now, what we'll do is, now that you have the background of what is agentic AI, from every vertical, I'll actually pull out a slide, and then you tell us from your experiences, different person, every time, what do you think from your area of expertise, where this agentic AI can be applied, and we can have a discussion around it. So yeah, back to the full screen. Okay, let's talk about AI in operations, okay, in energy sector, right? I just want to give you, 3 different examples The first one is digital twin creation and augmentation, right? So now what generative AI does is it powers the creation and augmentation of realistic virtual replicas of power plants, right? So you basically don't have the whole power plant, the whole grid digitally available with you. Now, what's the advantage if it is digitally available with you? You can mess around with it. You can do a lot of experiments on it without actually, doing it physically. So this is one of the main, application AI area of energy industry where we create digital twins. This allows for basically extensive scenario testing, predictive maintenance, optimizing safety protocols, offering strategy value for risk mitigation. All of this can be done digitally. You can break it 100 times, study it, and makes you like an expert, right? So that is the exact uh, replica of what it will happen physically, right? So give me an example of digital twin which you're using in day-to-day life. Well, it may not be appear very obvious to you, but at least that's how the makers of it think it that way. Any example of digital twin which you're using every day? Yeah, the Amazons and the Flipkarts of the world, right? When they have their apps, those apps are nothing but a window of what you would do, right? It's like doing, window shopping, and if you like it, you just put it in, right? It's not a virtual reality experience, but it's a good example of what a mini digital twin looks like, right?
Sir, it can be Google Maps or Uber,
Google Maps, fantastic example.
Uber, then even the Alexa.
So kindly unmute, sir.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Okay, now yes.
Were you able to look at the digital twin example? Somebody gave me a good example, so I hope you were audible. I was audible.
Yes, sir, it's Uber. We can say Uber or Google Maps.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. These are very good examples. Thank you. Okay, then some examples of Gen AI when applied to operation when operations are focused is models which can learn normal operation data. We call it as anomaly detection. Okay, so you basically in an anomaly detection you basically capture the signature of what is normal, right? And if it does not match, then you can say it's basically anomalous behavior or it's an anomaly, right? So normal operations data pattern identification is what you teach a machine, and then if there are subtle deviations, then they indicate a problem in the real life. This helps flagging unusual power, in our case, right? Unusual power fluctuations. If there are building system, failures or cyber attacks, all of this can be covered using anomaly detection. A fantastic example of, operation resilience, which and you can predict all of this in future, right? So, for example, I worked on, algorithms which can predict in future whether your drill bit is going to collapse while you're drilling for oil, right? So these are very have fantastic applications in energy industry, right? And another one which I quickly want to share with you is the automated procedure generation. Generative AI can automatically create an optimized procedure or maintenance checklist, right? So oil and gas or wind farms, solar farms, these have lot of operational hazards. They have a lot of operational challenges. And what if you can, automatically create optimized operational procedure, right? A plan, a machine or a LLM which can think about, planning for how do you do the maintenance, the prognostic health management, as we call it, right? So AI is fantastic at doing that. It optimizes for cost, time, and labor and money. So very good example. Now, a question to the operations guys, right? From your experiences, give me an example of what do you think is a very good example for AI in operations, apart from the oil and gas industry. Anyone wants to take a stab at it? Give me an example of the operations guys. This is for the operations guys.
Inventory management.
Inventory management. Yeah. Can you elaborate that one, please?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is very good. Very good answer.
Logistics.
Logistics, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Right. So, which industry? Can you give us a little more, two, three more sentences on it? I mean, can you describe it a little bit?
You want the name of the indices or the
I mean,
sectors?
how do you go about which energy, which industry, what application in logistics?
See, the lot of industries are using it, even the
Absolutely.
automobile industry for tracking the inbound trucks, also delivering to customers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
And sir, in chat, people are giving answer that AI optimizes inventory levels. Walmart uses AI powered twins by Dr. Kajal madam.
very
And
good. Yeah, Dr. Kajal,
Tyagini
yes.
madam has said that is workforce scheduling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So definitely, I agree 100%. Thanks for sharing the very good use cases of where the operations focus for AI is clearly seen, right? So yeah, I mean, key message which I want to give you is Gen AI is very important. It powers intelligent digital twins and operational insights for complex energy assets and other domains as well. Correct. Let's now the question for finance guys, right? So I'll give you a few examples from the energy industry, and then we'll draw parallel, and you tell me where you would apply generative AI in finance domain. Okay, I'm pretty sure you've gone through this in the last 4 days, so feel free to open up and share your experiences, right? So a few examples from energy sector, right? Advanced price forecasting, for example, right? So what happens is this is very popular in UK. Okay, we call it as spot production. Okay, now to generate clean energy, which is hydrogen, right? You need to run an electrolyzer. Okay, and I did a scientific paper presentation of this in SPE. So it goes as follows, right? The weather keeps changing, right? Even if you saw the cricket matches, right? There are abrupt rains. Okay. Now, so if you can focus and you can tell me, right, that the spot price of electricity is going to change. So over there, the electricity prices keep changing, right? So as more and more people, if the sun is available or the wind is blowing, right, you pump more in the grid. Okay. So it's very interesting, and once you pump more in the grid, the cost of the electricity, spot price of the electricity falls, right? And now what do you do, right? If you are into business of using or consuming heavy electricity workloads, for example, running the hydrogen electrolyzer, right? What will I do? I will basically look at um, when should I fire my hydrogen electrolyzer so that when I produce hydrogen, it is the cheapest for me, right? So if I can do a advanced demand forecasting, and I can do and I can tell you and look at weather, you can look at economic activity, consumer behavior, then I can actually do this heavy workload items which require huge amount of energy, right? And optimize it with the help of AI. Okay, so very good example of applying AI, where that spot price of electricity is changing, and once your algorithm is reasonably stabilized, you can then deploy it and earn a lot of money out of it to your workloads, heavy energy workloads. For example, drilling oil rigs is also, it happens continuously, but one can intelligently plan for heavy duty operations during peak hours, non-peak hours. Okay. And of course, it can do risk scenario generation. That is, it creates diverse hypothetical markets. So we saw that slide, right? The Sankey diagram. Remember, the global landscape is changing, right? Renewables are taking over. So AI can actually do something called as portfolio optimization for you, right? The big giants of the world. Okay. So if you look at top 10 richest or most cash rich companies, right? Can you name a few? Let's see, highest revenue generating um, cash flow company, right? We are looking at Fortune 100 or maybe Fortune 10, for example, right? Can you name a few of them? Top 10 Fortune companies, right? So you will find names like Saudi Aramco, Shell, right? Chevron. These are they have been pretty dominant, at least till 2020s. You'll find the names in the top 10. They're definitely in top 25 now. The Microsofts have taken up. The tech companies have jacked up, and they have dominated. But if you look at it, then oil companies were very very much uh, in 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 the fortune companies. Right now, the problem is the focus to renewables is shaking their empire, right? So now, how do you basically, if you're a corporate, how do you decide, right? How do you mitigate for that risk? You have been the energy provider, right? You've dominated the energy landscape, and now suddenly, from oil and gas, the focus is shifting to renewables. Right. So what do you do? Right. You take help from AI and create an optimized portfolio. Right. If you actually look at the claims done by British Petroleum, Shell, Chevron, Saudi Aramco, they are actually saying that, oh, by the way, we are also green. Don't blame us. They are actually buying and rapidly doing joint ventures and acquiring, in the green energy companies. So this is all done by risk scenario generation, again, generative AI, where corporates actually rely on AI to basically mitigate all the risk. Okay. So I throw it open. Feel free to write it in chat and do share it with me, Sarita ma'am, and feel free to open the mic and tell me examples which you learned in the last 4 days, especially from the finance domain. What did you learn? Where can we use AI in finance?
Trading.
Sorry, what is that?
Trading.
Trading, of course, yeah. Algorithmic trading, yeah. That was one of the first sessions, right? So you can do algorithmic trading. So by the way, that reminds me, yeah. Now on algorithmic trading, did Sir cover something about crypto? Because if you just Google about crypto, right, Bitcoin is at the highest. It's So if you're following the crypto space and the blockchain space, right, those guys have, so that has given in the last few months, has given double triple the returns, right? It's a favorite playground now for the algorithmic traders, right? So check out crypto, right? It's doing pretty well, and algorithmic trading is now just not share trading. It's got applications in energy trading as well as the algorithm can not only be just for money, right? It can be just for finance, it can be for energy, it can be for crypto as well. Okay, other
Sir, may I
examples.
speak?
Somebody was talking about other examples in finance, something creative.
Yeah. Hello,
Credit
sir.
scoring.
Credit scoring, yeah, you've learned about credit scoring as well. So yeah, I came to know about it. Yeah.
Fraud detection.
Yes, fraud
Fraud
finding.
detection,
Dr.
fantastic
Harshal
example.
Patil mentioned. Yes.
Wow, fantastic example. Thanks, Dr. Harshad Patil. So fraud, again, you will look at the normal signature, and then you will look at the signature of the fraud. Okay. So typically, very quickly, I'll share with you, how credit card companies, one of the ways what they look at it is when you're a fraudster, right? You do a small transaction first for a credit card fault, and then you do a large transaction at a very different area. So if you have that signature, right? The anomaly kind of shows up. So machines can actually are very smart at catching it. A very good example. Thank you. We move on, right? Now one challenging slide for marketing focus, guys. So I will tell you, a couple of examples of marketing focus, and then you give me an example of what you feel, right? So um, uh, place where we use it in our industry is personalized energy consumption insights. So you basically generate tailored reports and recommend huge big customers where they can where the what their usage pattern is, and looking at your tariff structure, how can you optimize your energy consumption. And we can actually look at proactive demand response programs where we use generative AI to predict demand fluctuations and generate targeted incentives. Again, the UK spot price example which I gave you, right? This is one good example. So this highlights dynamic demand side management, right? So where the marketing guys can actually come and focus and say, listen, we have a dedicated machine learning algorithm which can solve your problems. So up to marketing focus guys, right? What do you think? What have you? Where do you think AI has been most influential in marketing? Right, I'm looking for a very typical answer from the marketing folks.
So customer behavior, price analysis,
Customer
demand
behavior,
analysis.
fantastic. Price analysis, fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? But there is one thing which I'm really looking from the marketing folks.
Virtual assistant.
Sentiment analysis.
Of course, yeah. You do sentiment analysis, yeah.
So customer segmentation by Dr. Harshal Patil.
Of course, yeah, definitely. Right. So now I'll tell you the one which is catching fire in the marketing domain is basically, and you'll see it in the next slide as well, right? Is basically targeted marketing, right? Uh, have you seen examples of focused targeted marketing, right? It's getting very popular, right? There are pros and cons, there are ethical questions, but first let's describe what is targeted marketing. So when we do reports and personalized reports, right, we are very specific to when we approach the customer. It's very focused and targeted for that. But in day-to-day life, have you seen targeted marketing? Can you give me an example?
Sir, Zomato and Swiggy.
Uh-huh.
They
Yeah. Very close.
behavioral pattern of customer.
Right. And what do they do in case of targeted marketing?
They check exact time of hungry.
Yeah. And they can do maybe offer a discount to you. Of course, it's a good example. But so it was there in Phoenix Mall in Viman Nagar in Pune, right? If you go to the lobby area, right? There is this very famous example where when the person walks by, the advertisement which is shown to them is very specific and targeted, right? So for example, when my when I walk, that screen shows me a very different example. It shows me watches, so it knows that 39-40-year-old male has come and is basically identifies what that person is, how what is what does it look like, and then target or recommend a few things, right? So for example, when my wife was walking around, it gave specific directions where the jewelry store is or where the hairdresser store is. So very specific targeted focused marketing. Again, AI is very good at it, right? It can read your face, it can read your expression, and it can look at your again consent and ethics. We'll come to this, right? All of this is a big issue, but marketing guys, this is one of the favorite topic which is getting listed, and people are looking at it as very focused, targeted marketing. Right? It also happens in the HR's, HR focused theme. Right? We call it as personalized learning path. Okay. So you analyze. So in case of oil and gas, what we do is, whether digital or non-digital, we look at the training performance, we identify the knowledge gaps, and we generalize very customized, targeted, focused learning path for them.
Sir,
Right?
in chat box, participants have mentioned that ICICI Bank uses AI to target salarized millionaires with credit card offers. Then
Yeah,
Netflix India recommends regional
absolutely.
language content to user for those region by Dr. Manisha Jagtap.
Yeah, yeah. Dr. Sarita, on Netflix,
Yeah,
So they were the pioneers. Okay, they started this. Okay,
yes.
so Netflix, they said that, by the way, if you're looking at this movie, now I know what kind of genre you like, and therefore I will recommend those to you. Right? So Netflix is the pioneer in this. Yeah. So thanks for mentioning Netflix. Obviously, yes.
So it's by
Right?
Dr. Manisha Madam. Then next is by Pooja Madam. It's like Swiggy offering dessert coupon to user who often order sweets.
Ah, yeah, lovely example. Thank you. Yeah,
And
Swiggy
by
does it.
Dipti Bajpayee also mentioned that the content what we watch accordingly, then it sends us advertisement accordingly, like
Absolutely,
in
Dipti
YouTube.
ma'am. Hello. Yeah, 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 absolutely right. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, Now, so that's the personalized learning paths. Dr. Sarita, thanks. Keep sharing those messages with me.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
Now, one example, which the learning department in our organization does is, it does immersive simulation training. Right? So you use all these virtual reality gadgets and say that, okay, how do you send trainees to this, oil rigs and oil fields? Right? You cannot create dummy anymore. It's very costly. If you visit the field, right, per person capacity is very high. Right? So we create realistic virtual environments, right, using VR. Again, an example of digital twin. Right? And the learning department, L&D department, which is tied to HR in our case. Right? They'll create this customized learning paths. They'll create this, help you basically go undergo this immersive simulation training. And when it comes to energy industry, safety is also paramount. So how do you basically conduct yourself in a safe environment and make sure that everything is safe? Right? So L&D, HR focused teams, they are focused and they apply AI very beautifully. Now I have a video. This gentleman is from, his name is Matt. He's from MIT, and he explains this concept really very beautifully. So just take a couple of minutes and
Dinosaurs
look at
motivate
this.
me to do many things, and they actually use it to motivate me to learn. They say that, you love dinosaur, maybe you should pay attention in science class, and then you should maybe pay attention to art class as well, because that when you learn about the color, the texture, and that will allow you to paint the dinosaur of your imagination. And as I grow up, I realized that, the idea of using someone's interest to motivate their learning is called personalized learning or personalized education, where the idea of an interest can be the gateway for the person to discover, the world of knowledge. Like for me, the dinosaur is the gateway for me to discover art, science, technology, and beyond. And that's why I'm here at MIT Media Lab, because I love to explore both worlds. So you might wonder, how might the idea of personalized learning that I discovered through Dinosaur has to do with my project? Well, we can explore the use of AI to create personalized virtual instructor that allows students to learn from the character that they are motivated to learn from.
Today, we will learn about quantum mechanics.
It is the description of the behavior of matter and light in all its detail,
In particular, of the happenings on an atomic scale. They can learn from Einstein if they love Einstein. They can learn from Dinosaur, Mary Monroe, Harry Potter, any character that they want to learn from. And we want to see how that impacts students. We ran an experiment where people are learning from either a generic character or a character that they might be interested in. What we found is that when students learn from the virtual instructor that they like and admire, they have higher level of motivation, more positive emotion during the experience, and even more excited to learn more advanced material from that instructor. we are not trying to replace the teacher. We're trying to create new tools that the teacher can use to make the learning more exciting. They can use these AI characters as, invited guest lecture, and have scientists come into class and share their personal story about how they discover their knowledge. People might ask, why don't we just give up and let the AI take over? Well, there are many reasons for that. One is that right now, many of the AI systems that we have, they often hallucinate and give us wrong information all the time. If we don't have the knowledge to distinguish what is right and what is wrong, then we are doomed. Second, we don't want just one narrow ways that the AI can come up with. We want diverse possibility. We want diverse ideas. And each of us, each human, have unique perspective and unique experience that will allow us to form, a unique way of handling or solving problems. So we want to combine all these unique human perspective with AI solution, not just relying on one or another. And finally, the AI are as good as what we put in. If we give up and no longer producing new knowledge and data, our AI is going to be as good as the past. We are not going to have the future. With all these reasons, I think it's really important for humanity to never give up and continue to produce new knowledge, make new discovery, and create new possibilities for our future.
Absolutely. So I hope the audio was okay. And so this gentleman actually answered the question which I keep getting, which keeps popping, and it's popping up every day now as we talk with colleagues, etc. Will our jobs be gone? Right. I hope he answered it well. Right. Again, very creative use of how these instructors who are actually, for example, what if really Einstein came and really explained the theory of relativity in the class, right? That is a very, very good application um, uh, of creativity, imagination in the L&D department, right? So learning and development space. Now, the gentleman really answered the critical questions, right? Does that mean all our jobs are gone? No, not at all, right? The diverse perspective is very, very important, right? You can only have them as guest lecturers, and students actually enjoy when their favorite personality comes and teaches them, right? So yeah, you never know in future, all these celebrities start teaching you physics, right? And it is funny, and it's just so creative. But then again, would you rather learn from me? So the counter question which I ask them is, 2 years down the line or 3 years down the line, would you want me as the guest lecturer, or would you want AI to be the guest lecturer, right? Of course, I get the answer that of course we want you as the guest lecturer, right, and not AI. So the humans are like that. Be assured that the jobs are not gone. But I must tell you one thing, right? This is from Jeffrey Hinton. Okay, so Jeffrey Hinton commented, and keep this in mind. Okay, it's the things are not going to be very extreme. And things are not going to be as easy as saying that, okay, when computers came and when calculators came, the jobs increased, right? The reality is somewhere in between. And the thing is, this is what Jeffrey Hinton says, okay? He says that when he won the Nobel laureate, right? He just won the Nobel Prize for Physics last year. If you remember, it became a big thing. It became somewhat controversial also. But how can, AI guru become a win physics Nobel Prize? But I mean, our community was very happy. So this is what he said, right? He said that you look at the history of world, okay, and history of Earth, right? The intelligent species has always dominated the non-intelligent species, right? So we run the bullock carts, we command the donkeys what to do. We say how to, basically we love pets, we love dogs, but we don't love some other insects, right? So we've been the dominant species, the humans have been the dominant species. Now once you attain something called as ASI, artificial super intelligence, AGI first, artificial general intelligence, and then artificial super intelligence. Once you achieve this, right, you create the thing which creates the other things, like Lord Brahma, right? So then that is the end, right? The machine created the things which created other things, right? So you have a species now which is more intelligent. And what is the law of land on Earth? um, it has always been that the intelligent species is going to control the non-intelligent species, right? So this is how some of the fears of people, I want to bring it to the table. right? Some people say that, look at calculators, look at computers, the jobs doubled and tripled. But yeah, also be aware of what Jeffrey Hinton said, right? He's the most recent Nobel laureate in physics. Okay. Okay, any thoughts, any questions, any comments on this part of the section? It gets controversial, and AI is controversial. So any thoughts, any comments on that before we go to that final section, which is a message which I want to pass to all of you guys who are doing such a fantastic job. Sarita ma'am, anything in the chat?
No, sir, nothing.
Okay, okay, no problem. Thanks. I hope I answered the most frequently asked question, which comes up in everyone's mind, right? Everyone is vulnerable to that, but yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe next year we will see your digital twin.
Oh, you want a digital twin of me? Absolutely. Why not? Right. So, in fact, you raise a very important point. Thank you. Right. People are preserving their DNA. They are preserving, um, their essential goods which can help them replicate. Right. There is news, very recent news last week. Right. Elon Musk and famous celebrities there in US. They're building their bunkers. They're saving their DNA. But yeah, this is all to create their equivalent digital and physical twin. Okay, yeah, it's happening as we talk. So, right. So last section, right? This is where I need, and it's an appeal from me to all you wonderful, academic leaders, right? How you're going to shape up, right? This is I just want to share my thought of things. How can academia now, given all the context, given all the background, how important it is in energy industry, all other industries, right? How can we shape the career of our future generation, right? So this is what we want to talk about in the last section.
Question answer, okay, I think we will complete that.
Sunil, we would like to just intervene for 1 minute.
Right.
Can you just let us know what is your PhD, your PhD subject and your doctoral research?
Right. So I'm still a doctoral researcher. I'm doing it. It is in carbon capture and sequestration. Okay. So the carbon capture and sequestration. So what we do is, see, global warming is impacting us, right? And these gases, right, which we call as greenhouse gases,
Yes.
they are getting emitted, right, from heavy industries, not only oil and gas, other fossil fuel industries, even from heavy duty industries. So what we do is, what we specialize in capturing um, uh, some of this work which my company does, and therefore I picked up all the skills. So we take all this greenhouse gases, liquefy it. We call it as, they are at the end of the day derivative of carbon. Okay, so we call it as carbon gases, which are greenhouse gases. We liquefy it and then we store it inside the surface of the earth. So my doctoral research is about computer vision applications of how this greenhouse gases can stay long time inside the um, within the surface of the earth. We call it as the subsurface science for CCS, carbon capture and sequestration.
Okay.
Right. So it's important. I do a, I'm going to publish a book as well in
Is it?
2027.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, now this is the my request to academicians. Let's look at a successful path of what we've seen in the energy industry. We can do parallel with other industry, and what how do we shape this up, right? So typically, a part to success in energy industry is when initially they join as junior data scientists, business analysts. They support the consulting team through data analysis, client interviews, right? Then there are associate consultants, which form an integral part of the consulting team, right? They can conduct data analysis. They do a lot of stereotypical jobs. I'm talking about business analysts in energy industry, right? And then gradually they become consultant. You're looking at a 6 to 10 years time span, where they become directly talk to clients and become a subject matter expert. That's where the subject matter expertise comes. Typically takes 6 to 10 years. Then typically we take up the management roles and implement firms growth strategy while managing projects and coaching junior team members, right? Then you go to the director, which is the leadership role in implementing the firm's revenue growth. And then principal is where you lead a firm's global efforts while you develop the next generation, right? So now if this is what a successful path looks like, right? Then what do we do at this grassroots level, right? What is my expectation? What are some of the skill set which I would love to see when in the formative years? These are the most critical years when they come out from the academic institutions. They come out of these colleges, right? They are fresh, and that is where they can be molded. So what are some of the skills which I would like to see, right? Of course, Excel, Python, SAS, Power BI, SQL, which is handling databases. This was my slide previously. Now I added a few more things to this, right? Is basically use of all of these tools, right? When as the international trainer in Saudi Arabia, right, I took one day full session of how do you basically do prompting. People think that prompting is just a just English, right? But how do you effectively get the best out of the large language models? What are some of the prompting frameworks, etc.? Once you get an expert into that particular domain, is extremely useful skills, right? So how do you basically get the best out of these large language models? So these are some of the skills which I would expect some of the students to know, right? And they gradually, naturally pick up all of these skills. But if the academic can have it, then nothing like it. Then business skills, how do you generate, how do you gradually become a subject matter expert, problem solving skills, presentation skills. And then the last section is on the soft skills, right? How do you effectively communicate, self motivation. Now this is an important point, right? What we've observed, fellow listeners and experts, the thing is the Gen Z is very, very susceptible. Okay, they are very, very fragile, and they are, so trust me, they're not as resilient as the previous generation. They come up with they have their own complications, right, due to the way we deal with the youth, right, is completely different, right? So they need to uh, be be motivated. And how do you inculcate self motivation, right? I mean, it's getting extremely fragile, the way the Gen Z is, their problems in terms of mental balance, etc. And that resilience needs to be built. So these are some of the skills which we want to see, we want to inculcate. Leadership, of course, it starts from grassroots level, the mentality, and yeah. So these are some of the skills now, but very important, right? We spoke about this particular section, about use of AI, machine learning, Python. This is all cross domain, cross functional skills. But also as AI takes over, right, it also want the academia to also talk about responsible AI, right? How can while they are over reliant, and the heavy lifting is being done by AI, we should talk about privacy, accountability, fairness, safety, and security. And I just have a couple of examples, right? And it's just stirred the whole world. So this is on the right side. This is in US, these Uber self-driving car meeting with an accident. So suppose you are the owner of a self-driving car, right? And an accident has happened. So what do you think? Who's responsible? Um, what are your thoughts? What are your comments? Right. So one of the things which we need to teach, the academicians need to teach students, is responsible AI, right? So what do you think in this particular case, right? This is a famous case where I brainstorm a lot with a lot of folks and ask them, what do you think? Who's responsible? Right? Am I the one who's responsible? Or say, for example, Uber met with an accident, right? Who's responsible? It is a self-driving car, self-driving Uber.
So
Any
if it's a
thoughts?
self-driving car means it is absolutely the algorithm what we have put into it. So basically it's we, I think, who went
But you
wrong.
purchased it, right? You purchased the car,
Yes.
right? And
I think completely rely on AI is not that a good idea.
absolutely, right? So AI cannot be, at least for now, right? It's there for human aid, right? But in this particular case, what happened is, they looked at all the recordings and they figured out that the person was, the old lady was not crossing uh, the road correctly, right? Even if there was a human, then that's how Uber won the case. The case got filed on Uber. But these are, very important ethical questions, right? Safety, fairness, privacy, accountability, right? You cannot use AI tools left, right, and center, right? And they need to make sure that the personal information is not leaked either. So in this particular case, Uber was charged, but they got bailed out, saying that had there been a normal human driver, they would have also done the accident because the fault of the person, right, who accidentally came, mistakenly came. There are ways out in law, but yeah, we need the larger question needs to be answered while we are talking about AI adoption all the time, all the time, all the time, right? Responsible AI and ethical AI are important, right? Now, on the right, also there's a picture where a false news came. This is an AI generated image and a video of Pentagon on fire, right? So there's a blast which has happened, and then it caused a lot of stir, right? Even some of the CNN news anchors were not able to relate to it. They were not. They thought that it's a real image. Okay, but whereas it was a hoax image. So while AI can do epic tasks, AI can do epic mess up as well, right? It can screw up very badly as well, right? It can wage a war. So one needs to be very, very careful, right? And that needs to, you know how we use AI going further is definitely something to learn from. Okay, so key learnings from what we have, what we've discussed so far from generative AI in energy. Key learnings for academia. What I feel, they should take away from this particular session. Right, I'm slowly trying to summarize all of these things. So first of all, data is paramount, right? Garbage in, garbage out. Um, Data, agile development, and experimentation. So all these things are new. Okay, the AI tools are new. It needs, so this is that typical agile curve, right? It comes back, right? So typically you do a lot of experiments, a lot of things are still very nascent, right? So agile development, quick, fast experimentation, and then learning from it, and then adapting it, right? Then you would also focus on how AI can be applied, right? What is the value creation, right? I recently, wanted to publish something on how, I can take my PhD data, which is my doctoral research data, and I had a very crazy idea of storing it like music files and creating a non-fungible token out of it, right? But but I got criticism for this particular research work or paper. It's just a side hustle, right? I was trying to basically see how can I, because crypto is catching fire, right? I was trying to look at all of these blockchain related things, and I had this is for an article in a journal, um, and I got harsh criticism saying that there is no value in what you're proposing. It's just it's just a fun experiment or POC, right? So yeah, absolutely focus on value creation. That is another key message. Now, interdisciplinary collaboration, right? Another very important point which I want to tell all of you. Um, Over here in this particular case, um, the new the STEM branch, the science, technology, engineering, maths branch, the management branch. I see all of them, in next 5 to 10 years, the gap is going to be, earlier the gap was very big, right? The management folks, etc., they were not talking to data scientists, etc. Now what will happen is slowly and gradually the businesses will converge, and there will be a even more and higher focus on interdisciplinary collaboration, right? So how do you talk with diverse teams with diverse perspectives, right? Again, something which needs to be inculcated in students, right? And last but not the least is the ethical considerations, right? Of course, how do you, we spoke about it, right? Fairness, equity, privacy, all of this is very important, right? So he's kind of summarize it with this acronym called as DEFIT: data, ethics, focus, iteration, interdisciplinary, and of course talent development, right? How do you basically develop talent? How do you do the customized learning paths for new employees and new joinees, right? So yeah, DEFIT: data, ethics, focus, iteration, interdisciplinary, collaboration, and talent development. Right. So bridging the industry and academia gap, again, I feel free to type in the comments. Feel free to open the mic and tell us. Right. You have to apply energy AI lessons to management education. Right. So I have another acronym for you. Previous one was DEFIT. This is ideal FP. Right. So you integrate the AI literacy into the curriculum. That is one of my suggestions. Right. Not just technical skills. Understand AI strategic implications, the ethics behind it, the business value, focus on value, right? Develop AI-ready leaders, focus on critical thinking, focus on problem solving. That's a very important point, right? We look at this when we interview candidates, right? Are they able to solve problems, right? And now all of this in AI context, right? Responsible AI and AI leadership. This is what some of the academia should start looking at incorporating all of these things. Emphasize on data strategy and governance, right? Now data can be leaked, right? So OpenAI, which is the maker of ChatGPT, started criticizing DeepSeek. Now DeepSeek came, it was open. OpenAI is not truly open, right? You need to pay for the AI. But DeepSeek came, they said that our AI is free, it's a reasoning model, right? But then OpenAI said, by the way, you took all the data from OpenAI, right? But look at OpenAI, they themselves are facing lawsuits for basically for basically taking data from the world, right? So again, data strategy, data governance, train the students about data quality, how data needs to be handled, address the ethics and responsible concerns. I cannot emphasize more on it. Come and repeat in every slide that while AI is a double-edged sword, okay, it will come back. The mess up can also be epic from AI. So address the AI ethics, and responsible AI, and leverage industry partnership, bring in industry experts, which you guys are already doing. Case studies, look at case studies all the time. Cannot emphasize more. Right, you learn a lot when you bring in case studies. Right, so AI case studies, foster interdisciplinary project communication, which you spoke about in the last slide as well. And of course, right, humans are like that. You have to promote continuous learning. This new skills have come, you need to adapt to that, right? So instill a mindset of lifelong learning, right? And I summarized it as ideal FP: integrate, develop, emphasize, address, leverage, foster, and promote. Okay, so that summarizes how I think we should bridge the industry and academia gap. I want to actually open it up to all of you guys. What do you think? What are the challenges which you are facing, and is this helpful? Are the case studies helpful? Is bringing in experts helpful um, from time to time? What do you think? What more? How more innovatively? What can be done? Right? Some thoughts, comments.
Yes, Sunil, it was really helpful. Very
Yeah.
nice practical case study you have taken on energy management. And
Yes.
definitely we will call you personally offline so that you can guide our new incoming students as well from this project point of view. Thank you very
Abs-
much.
Absolutely. It will be a pleasure. I love interacting with the students, and the energy is just infectious. So yeah, thank you. Right, so I'll leave you at ideal FP, but I just want to share a very small video before I go. Right, this gentleman, his name is he's the minister of AI. Right, so look at some of these countries. Right, Middle East is also doing very well. They are having actually something called as AI minister. Okay, right, we don't have such a thing here in India, but they have focused, and their focus on AI is commendable. And I just want you to listen to his speech as my closing comments as I finish my presentation, as I complete my presentation. And he talks about the difference between complete and finish, right? So, and in context of AI. So very funny, but do listen to him. And with that, we'll sign off. But this is his message, okay?
There's no dictionary in the world that can tell you the difference between the word complete and finished. But there's a way for you to understand it. If you use and embrace artificial intelligence, you will be complete. If you do not and you're late, you'll be finished. And if you reject it altogether, you will be completely finished.
Okay, so I hope it was audible, and thank you. With that, I take your leave. But very good, thank you. It was really nice interacting with all of you, and thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Audience, I request if you have some questions, you can please go ahead. So before the audience think I just want to ask one question. As you have shown with slide where what management curriculum things, what we can include it from AI. But sir, I just want to need more clarity in that. Like from your experience, what specific lessons from AI integration in energy sector should we be embedding in management curriculum today? What is actually needed?
Right. So one thing definitely is the use and promotion of AI tools, right? So how do you basically, leverage all of these things, right? So see, um, uh, uh, the first thing when PowerPoint came, right? I just give you an example of PowerPoint, right? The first ever Windows was in 1996, right? And the management students were, not very comfortable with, computers and PowerPoint and presentations, etc. But if you actually look at these slides which get generated, right? Some of the slides which the management students make is so beautiful, so creative, right? It beats any other guys who've actually made PowerPoint, right, at Microsoft. So again, the adoption of these tools, right, may be these AI tools which actually uh, you know give a massive boost to productivity, right? So of course I gave you ideal FP as the acronym or the guru mantra, but if the academia can slowly start incorporating all of these tools, right? Can you actually give me a uh, AI powered presentation now, right? And starting inculcating all of these nice tools, the productivity, the gap or the boost in the productivity that you'll see is going to be massive. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. In chat box, there's one question that what kind of academic research is actually useful to companies adopting AI in energy?
Yeah, so one so that thank you, Harshal. Always you ask good questions, right? Now I'll tell you what's going to happen before AGI and ASI, right? And I'll tell you what will happen after AGI or general intelligence and artificial super intelligence is achieved, right? Till the time it is getting achieved, um, so researches which has got to do with climate change and sustainability, they are very important in the energy industry, right? So right now it's like a green lobby. Have you heard of the term green lobby? Right, green lobby means if you are not green, if you are not clean, then we will not do business with you, right? So say for example, you're making a t-shirt, okay, and I am also making a t-shirt. But while I am making my t-shirt, I say that I use the most sustainable practices. My t-shirt consumed so much less water compared to you, right? My t-shirt when I made my T-shirt, it's made of very earth-friendly chemicals, right? By the way, the cost of my T-shirt is high, right, and the cost of your T-shirt is low, right? Gradually, what we'll say is that since you're greener, you're more sustainable, we will do business with you. It's okay. We'll say, we might pay. Um, the price parity in India may not make sense at this point in time because Indian markets are price sensitive. But what we are saying is, in future, we'll do a green lobby, right? We'll say that the person who's not developing it sustainably, right, and has used cheap tricks in harming the climate, right? If you generate such energy, if you have, if your sources of energy are like that, we will not do business with you, right? You have to prove that you're green so that we do business with you, right? So that is one of the major challenge which the energy sector is facing, and adopting AI will definitely help. And then how does academia basically react to that? It'd be interesting to see. Now this is all the research which will happen before AGI ASI. Once AGI ASI comes, I'll tell you, the whole thing is an exponential curve, right? They are the ones which will start um, doing the research as well, right? So it is going to be very, very interesting times ahead. Worth noting, worth watching, how things will shape up.
So I have a
Okay.
question.
Yeah, please, Dr. Dipti, please. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So wonderful, Jin. I just had a question that since we are talking about AI in general, whenever we talk about technology deployment, it talks about a cultural shift. So with AI coming in, it does impact the entire organization. So do you think that the new entrants to the organization or the existing people in the organization need to be trained in shift of mindset also along with
Absolutely.
the technology
Uh,
deployment?
Absolutely, Dr. Dipti, you touch upon a very important point, right? I kind of mentioned about Gen Z and how fragile they are when they come and join the organizations, right? We've seen cases where we've taken people to hospitals because of a complete breakdown, right? So 100%, I do agree. One of the part of shaping the next generation is going to be how the whole how their mental setup is, right? How resilient they are, right? Dr. Abhay sir did a fantastic job about organization resilience, right? There were so many sessions. I think it happens in January, if I'm not mistaken, right? Organization resilience and his focus on that, right? Part of it, Dr. Dipti, is how do you basically, uh, you know, shape up the mindset of the people as well. So not only tools, you bring up a fantastic point. It's how you train their mindsets also, right? As they join the workforce.
Thank you, sir, for answering the question so well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Again, a pleasure. Thanks for having me. And yeah, looking forward to connect with all of you guys more. And all the best. With that, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We truly
Thank you.
appreciate the clarity, examples, and the fresh perspective you have brought to this session. So thank you so much on behalf of our institution and all the participants. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Yeah. So, all right, everyone, let's keep the momentum going. We have just explored how the energy sector is using AI not just to manage complexity, but to lead innovation. So, now we are shifting focus to another powerful domain, the world of ports. Now, ports might not sound exciting on the surface, but here is the thing, they are among the most complex, high pressure operational ecosystem on the planet. Cargo movements, vessel traffic, customs clearing, stockage tracking, unpredictable weathers, everything. If anything slips, the impact is global. And here is where AI steps in, not just to automate, but to optimize, predict, elevate performance. From smart scheduling to real time monitoring, from predictive maintenance to operational decision making, ports today are powered as much by algorithms as by cranes. But here is what even more interesting. What can academia learn from this? Quite a lot, actually. And this is perfect case of how AI is solving real world problems at scale, under pressure, with different outcomes for academic institution and management, educators. This basically the outcome would be how designing curriculum that reflect current industry challenges, teaching AI not just as a tool but a strategic asset. And then on at the same time, we have to encourage interdisciplinary thinking where technology meets logistic, policy, human resource management, creating project-based learning and so many things. And finally, helping students build the kind of thinking that today's manager truly need, that is data driven, system aware, and outcome focused. So today's session, an effective and efficient use of AI for enhancing proficiency, AI in port, is not just about only port, it's about understanding how AI is changing the way organization run and how we in academia can respond. So let's now welcome our speaker for the session, Mr. Bose. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Bose, who will take us into the rarely seen but absolutely essential world of AI in port. Mr. Bose, in Manager Solution Engineering, Data Science, AI, ML, Deep Learning, Visualization expert, more than 7+ years of experience, expert in data storytelling, AI, ML. He is a proficient in Python, SQL, Power BI, Tableau, strong track record in modern optimization, cutting training time over by 70%, passionate about building data-driven culture and mentoring future analysts. He is also awarded Best Manager, Impactful Businessman 2019 and Extra Miller Awards. So over to you, sir, and welcome you once again. Mr. Bose?
Thank you. I hope I am audible and
Yes, sir,
clearly.
you are.
Yeah. Just give me a minute. I'll just. Well, yeah. So hope now I am able to. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this introduction, and it's been a great pleasure for me to have this FDP in ICCMR. And let me share my screen as well to give you what I have prepared for myself, as well as the faculties. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, very much.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity. So I have been in AI field for last 7 years, and I have been working on different projects on different domains. Not only in port, port is one of the project that I have completed with a quick time, and we have completed that successfully and delivered to the customers which they were required. But other than that, I have also worked on different other projects like telecom, manufacturing. All are AI based, mostly in case of forecasting, predictive maintenance, as well as predictive optimizations as well. Now, as this particular faculty development is on effective and efficient use of AI, so I will quickly touch upon some examples. And as I have seen, the last speaker of Sunil sir has given a great examples of different ethical happenings of AI, as well as different other examples. But to go beyond that, I will give you some more idea which will help the faculties as well as students to understand where and how AI is playing a huge game in the field of different areas as well. So as we talk about efficient use of AI, so I would just want to ask everyone that, so first I'll give the agenda. So I'll give you an overview first, then with smart examples, then some implementations of tools in real world that has happened, some efficient use of AI in port, what I have done when I delivered my projects in port, how I have gone into a detailed level of analysis, how I have break those requirements from different stakeholders that they were having, and from there how we have entirely automated the process, did some analytics on top of that, and how they are taking actions based on that. So that is how I will explain you that. And finally, as of now, there are multiple sections in port, but I have only just taken two parts. One is traffic, one is marine, because these are the main two areas which the port stakeholders have mostly focused on. But other than that, they have other segments as well, which I will show in a video as well to every one of you. And finally, what is the impact that is getting created, how they are managing those things, how they are getting improvement in their operational efficiencies and all. So all that I will also explore in some time as well. And finally, we will have some Q&A. If you have any questions on any time, please feel free to ask me as well. So I want to ask everyone that what is efficiency in AI era? Means what do you mean by the word efficiency? So if you're talking about efficiency using AI, I need to have some examples for that as well. So can anybody just help me out on this? Anyone? What do you understand about the word efficiency in AI? Means how this will help. For example, if you are teaching to some student as well, so how you will use AI, and efficiently using those AI, how will you help your students? Anyone who
To make
loves to
the
answer? Yeah.
to give more real life examples, to make the content more even simpler, and
Okay. Okay.
to make
Process
it little
efficiency.
more,
Okay.
yeah, to
இப்ப
make it
X Y மாத்துகிறல்ல
little more
அததான்
innovative.
சமீன் டோட்டலா எடுத்துக்கணும்
Okay.
புரியுதா இது
Okay.
நம்ம மாத்திட்டோம் அதனால நம்ம அந்த வேல்யூல இருந்து Xல இருந்து தான் நம்ம
Okay. To bring real time scenarios. Okay. Okay. Suppose you are teaching your students in your class. Quite often you have this, but suppose the students are not getting interacted or not able to understand your subjects or the domain that you're teaching, right? What will you do in that case, right? So you might either change or make it interactive. You might give some real examples that what somebody has already mentioned that, right? But suppose if you want to make your entire classroom efficient by using AI, right? Probably you would have set up a system which will automatically understands that the student is not getting focused, for example, or they are not able to understand your subject, or they are not able to grasp those knowledge, right? So if you get that by in real time alerts, right, by setting up those systems or tools, that will help you to effectively use your AI efficiently, and will bring more effective education in students as well. So that's why, in my simple terms, what I have done is doing more with less time, effort, and cost. That is one thing. Moving from automation to augmentation, right? As well as correct own ability to use AI, yes, as well as speed, accuracy, scalability, and impact, right? Let me give you a very simple example for this. The sentences that I have written over here is doing more with less time, effort, and cost. Suppose you have already set up, you're doing some analysis in Excel, for example, right? And what you have done before AI, you're doing some manual work in Excel. When you are using AI, you are using some tools, right? For example, it can be a Python, it can be some kind of Azure, AWS, whatever the tools is there. So you're using those tools to automate some of the process, right? So that is a part of automation which comes in. So for example, if you want to give quick alerts to yourself using some smartphone connectors, you will automatically do that, right? With bots and all, and that will give you automation. But when it comes to augmentation, what next, right? And the problem in industry is we stuck till automation, right? We don't go after automation, right? But nowadays everyone is thinking about augmentation, right? So how your AI system can be smarter, how they can think smart, act smart, and give you more benefit out of that, right? And that is where augmentation comes into picture, right? And another important thing is AI for efficiency, for example, right? So again, I want to ask you that what do you mean by the term AI for efficiency again, right? Means with my example, with your understanding, uh, how you will basically, or how AI will efficiently help you, right? So again, there are two examples. One is effective use. You use smart applications, write AI tools, right? And minimal resource utilizations, right? And that is where you will help, which will help you to maximize your output as well. So these are the two things that you will be mostly required to make your AI efficient, which is kind of a augmentation that I'm talking about, right? And companies, whether it is in port, whether it is manufacturing companies, whether it is your retail chains, or whether it is a Netflix kind of a entertainment companies as well, they are mostly towards in augmentation rather than automation, because automation is already there, right? It was previously, it was also there. You use some kind of a bot based analytic system. Nowadays Gen AI has came out, and you have already seen everything is getting shifted, right? But the problem is again how you are making your AI smarter, right? So you are pumping out more data into that. it understands that, it gives you smarter results, right? For example, if you're using ChatGPT as well, what happens is when you ask certain question, it gives you a answer. It depends on prompt, but still, do you get that in one prompt? No. So you keep on fine tuning those prompts properly, right? Keep on giving them more examples, right? So what you're doing, you're making your AI smarter, right? So that they come out with most accurate results, which will help you to reduce some time as well as resources, and which will maximize your output as well, right? And that is what we are talking about, efficiency in AI, right? And that is what we should look ahead, right? Not just automation, because automation is gone. For 5 years back it was that craze, but nowadays it is more towards augmentation, right? Any thought on this? Any examples or any kind of questions do you have over here?
Prayas, I want
Yeah.
to add here. Can
Yeah,
I
sure.
speak? Are you
Yeah,
listening?
I'm listening.
Prayas, in case of education, when we are
Yes.
seeing, let us say, management education, where students have their own thought process, the
Correct.
teacher need to have the database of the students who are having average learning speed or above average and below average. So,
Correct.
this kind of classification needs to be given to AI. Like
Correct.
some of the tools, like blended tools which are used, like in KBC, use fastest finger first. So by giving such
Correct.
examples, who are the students who are giving fastest answers, who are the
Correct.
student needs some inputs, like this
Correct.
way, if you have got historical data, that data we can give to AI, and then, as you rightly said, engaging and entertaining and them, making them self learn will be the
Correct.
powerful way of doing right things, and using AI rightly will be the right
Correct.
solution for this, right?
Correct. Correct. Absolutely correct. Correct. So the challenge. So yes, the point that you have made is absolutely correct. But the challenge comes is, how will you capture the data? How will you store that data, right? Where to process that data, right? Because when you have students, you will have in batches. You will have different section wise, classes wise. So n number of dimensionality or hierarchies you will find, right? But how will you process those huge amounts of data? How will you get those in action, right? So how will you automate? That is the first step. How will you automate that processes? So you need to get into action as well. So how will you come into augmentation after that, right? So you have to think of that architecture behind it, right? And then only you will be able to step up a curve ahead. That's what I'm talking about. So every time when we start with a project, what we usually do is we usually build the entire architecture, right? How it will be happening, right? What will be the data source? How we will store that data source? Suppose if there are multiple users, how we will manage those users, right? Suppose you have 10,000 students, right? How will you manage those 10,000 students, right? How will you take those data points, right? How will you process that, right? How will you give them actions, right? Whether you will action out one accordingly to each, or you will be action out a group of students. So you have to think of that entire strategic pipeline that you have to going to build, right? And based on that, you will make your AI more efficient in working out things. All right. So that's why I have taken some examples in my slides as well. For example, just a simple example that I've given over here is, imagine a hospital radiology department, right? And before AI, they were just doing some X-ray manually, taking 10 minutes per scan, right? Even manually taking data, as sir already mentioned, right? So it takes a lot of human errors, right? For example, as you mentioned that there are a number of students, can we manage those students data historically, right? How we will capture those? So can we have a system which is a sensor based, which can track which students are active in class, which students are basically performing well, which students are coming regularly, giving their attendance properly, right? So there were one of the institutes where I have been trained, where I have gone to trained, and they have seen that they have kept a biometric thumbprint outside the class. So whenever a student enter, he does not give a attendance to your teachers, right? He automatically press that biometric thing, and the entire attendance goes over there in their databases. Now, previously it was not that. Previously everything was manually they were doing that, but later they have totally shifted in clicking those attendance biometric system, and automatically the entire data gets properly digitalized. The reason is they were able to get those historical data, right? And from those historical data, they can came out with different type of patterns, right? How they are attending the class, how much or how much leaves they are taking every day. Are this is a good student? So can they correlate with marks as well? So all this were taken into action. Similarly, this was done for a class 1 to 10 classes of students. But imagine if you are doing it for college level, that is more powerful, because you might have think that college students are pretty much flexible, right? They will come at any point of time, they will go out at any point of time. And for engineering students, for different other institutional students, both will be different. So you have to think of that entire architecture that I have told you, right? Which will help you to understand the process, build those systems, and then you can move ahead for augmentation as well. So similarly, the example is with AI, they can instantly scan a number of images, right? Which in turn is the speed that I am talking about, right? Similarly, they can highlight number of anomalies that is coming out, right? Which in turns is the accuracy, right? So manually getting those data becomes a lot of human errors. Your false positive, true negative might get increased, right? But here, when it comes to system data, it is much more better in quality, in as well as it will help us in analysis as well, right? You can process scalability, one of the major factors that we face in when it comes to industry projects, right? It should be scalable enough, right? For example, if I have developed an application, and if that application is not able to use by 1,000 concurrent users, then how I have made that application scalable, right? It no point in making those applications then, right? If the user is not properly using that or actively using that to take actions, then just creating that applications won't help. So how scalable you are, right? How scalable your applications will be. So it totally depends on how is your thought process behind that, how you have built your architecture behind that, right? As well as the impact that you're creating out of that, right? One of the example that I'm going to give you is, for example, banking. Recently, I have done a banking project where we have entirely automated their system, right? So previously they were just doing in manual Excel files. They have PDFs, they have different other databases, but the entire data was in silos, right? So what we did, we sit with them, we understand their problems, we understand how we can help them in utilizing AI efficiently, uh, draw a proper architecture for different data sources coming from different areas, how they need to take actions. For example, if a bank has a loan, which accounts are my NPA accounts, or which accounts are my probable NPA accounts, or which accounts are my secured accounts, right? So if we find those things, can we take actions based on that? How they should take actions? What is the augmentation behind that? So automation is done, right? But can we get them some alerts? Can we efficiently give the customers alerts that you have a probable NPA, your due is there for the next 30 days. So you have a last date which is already crossed. So can you please confirm your due dates for and quickly do the payments, right? So that is where this action out things comes in, right? Again, the industry, or if you go for any projects of analytics, it stops still automation, but I have seen gone it beyond augmentation as well. So that is where I will mostly focus, because that's where the students, or as well as the new joiners, basically lacks in, because they think that, okay, learning Python, making the process automated, using different tools will help, but how you have thought behind that, right? How you have thought to action it out, right? That is where it will be helpful for them, right? So this is one of the examples that I have given, and that is how AI is replacing, they're augmenting with diagnostic skills, saving huge time, effort, and cost as well. Yeah. Okay. Similarly, I have given one more example. There are a lot of examples because I'm not a theoretical person. I mostly dive into practical scenarios, and I love to give examples because that is where you will be able to grasp the things. For example, Aadhaar, right? And this is a very common example. I find it very beautifully to explain, and it helps a lot. For example, you have seen that you all have Aadhaar card, right? And it's a unique biometric system that they have used, a kind of a biometric authentication, and where you basically they tracks your entire digital data as well, right? Now previously, if you go back when Aadhaar was firstly introduced, there were 1.3 billion users. They have to capture the data, which takes a lot of time, right? Lot of effort, lot of resource, as well as lot of cost will be incurred from that. Can we use something? Can they have used something? So yes, they have already done that. Use of deep learning in fingerprints as well as ID scan, that helped them a lot of reduction in time, right? So previously it was used to take more than 5 minutes for an entire process to cover for one person, which with the use of this predictive AI, they were able to reduce by 5 seconds. Imagine, right? Another important thing, action out, right? As I've talking about augmentation again, right? What action it took, right? For example, there were different people who have fake other accounts, right? With this help of deep learning as well as their iris-based scan, that fake accounts were getting deleted, right? For example, if a farmer wants a loan, right, of 10 lakhs or 12 lakhs for their farming, right, and they have given a sanction to government, right? How does the government knows that is not a fraud? So based on their authentication, which they have done, automatically it detects whether it is correct or not, and then automatically the amount transfers to their account. So there is no middleman. The middleman chapter is gone. Direct bank transfers happens now, which is DBT, right? It direct benefit transfers happens to them, and the farmers gets their money and they start their farming. So it helps a lot, right? So previously, I have given an example over here. Previously, around 1.7 lakh crores were saved from that. There were a lot of missed funds which were given. There are a lot of leakages that were there in that system. But use of this predictive AI and artificial intelligence, it reduced. There are a lot of impact that has happened, right? And if you see, I have given over here earlier fingerprint scan, send to server, matching the huge databases, response, it takes a lot of time. But now with AI powered, with the right person, in 5 seconds, they are giving those properly output for that. So this is one of the examples which tells me that how they're using AI efficiently with different kinds of tools and systems, as well as how they are doing the augmentation behind it, right? Any questions or any feedback on this? Anyone? Any questions from anyone? Yeah. All right. Let's move ahead. I have given another example. Again, you might have known of this particular technology called as TCS Optimera, right? One of the retail AI platform for the Indian as well as global brands as well. Now they have played a huge role in retail industry as well. Now this what I'm giving is I'm giving you all examples of how they're using AI efficiently in helping them increasing their business, right? As well as efficiently increasing the impact of their business as well, right? Now, what TCS Optimera has done, they have used different kinds of, one of the important thing is predictive pricing, right? How they should price out the products, right? Where they should keep those products, right? And how they should manage those inventories, because for retail industry, they plays a very vital problem, right? I have been spent more times, 2-3 years in retail industry, and one of the major problems that they have is inventory, right? Stacking of inventory, right? Right. Yes, Ashwini ma'am, I will come to that, right? So stacking of inventory, right? So now can we forecast those properly? Can we understand? And predicting an inventory based on demand is a very skillful technique that needs to be done, right? Because you have to understand the market demand first of all. You have to understand what season it is, because e-commerce depends on season as well. E-commerce depends on different other external factors as well. So predicting those inventory, optimizing those properly, right? Finding out which products are running out, which products are staying for a longer period in shelf. Can we do those things which will help us in efficiently working out things? Yes, TCS Optimera has done that. And they have beautifully implemented this entire thing in Star Bazaar as well. So I hope everybody knows about Star Bazaar. And if you have gone to Star Bazaar in Diwali or Christmas, you will find the cakes as well as some Christmas caps or something like that when you enter into that particular Star Bazaar. They used to keep those decorative products at the gate. The reason is when you go out after purchasing, or when you go take inside the step of that particular shop or a market, you automatically get attracted to these decorative products, right? And that is what they have identified those. A lot of customer have been able to take those because they were kept on those areas. The shelf life was very fast on those areas, and that is how this TCS Optimera has understand those things, right? Which helps in setting up proper inventory for them as well, right? So which is the high demanding products at that particular time, right? Where we can keep at a proper shelf so that it goes out easily, so that people easily take those products and basically get the revenue out of those, right? They can properly plan those inventories based on the demand, right? And that is what these companies are doing. right? They're using those systems and tools again to basically effectively using those AI properly and efficiently managing those things as well, right? Which help in turn increasing the augmented AI again, right? Ashwini ma'am has asked, are there any pros but cons also for AI voice recognition for doing frauds? How it can be prevented? Very good questions, and I have seen a lot of things happening already. One of my uncle also have been into this frauds because when it happens, they were asking a ransom money, right? They know every detail of it, right? The first of all is the details, how they get those details, right? The entire data, right? Second thing is how they are pitching, right? Right? They are not using any kind of AI as of now, but how they are pitching and how they are coming, getting out of the money from us. So a lot of things are happening in this, but how these are being able to handle, right? How they are able to handle those things. So one of the initiative that I think Maharashtra Pradesh were able to do is they were able to create an app which automatically detects when a phone comes in, right? So many subscribers were able to subscribe those apps, right? So automatically when some call comes, and if it is a fraudulent call, right, automatically it gets detected on those apps as well, right? So this is a fraudulent call. So that is how they were able to save that. Other than that is transparency. For example, uh, uh, you should be well understand that you should not share your data privacies and all, right? You should have a separate accounts of your Gmail, of your different identifications, which will help you to do that. Everything is not being controlled by AI because AI is a little vast in nature, as well as it is a major problem for many organizations as well, because nowadays if you have seen, everyone is using some tools, right? Any kind of AI tools, right? Whether it is a chat GPT, for example, or for whether it is to develop a quick PPT, right? Nobody is using a Microsoft PPT right now. Everyone is going to napkin.ai, downloading the PPT, just giving some prompts, and entire PPT is getting generated, right? Now imagine when entire people or staff is organized in an organization is using those tools, because they're also giving those data out in the real world, which in turn getting those unique identification of yours as well, right? So if you put entire data in chat GPT is taking those data points in the real world, right? That is a major problem that in Gen AI people are facing right now. The data is not at all secured because whether it is DeepSeek, whether it is ChatGPT, whether it is your Claude models, whether it is your Perplexity, whatever, right? When you're using those APIs and when you're pushing your data into those API models, automatically your data is going out, right? And how will you handle those secure data privacies concerns? And that is how responsible AI, as Sunil sir has also mentioned, right? So that is the major factors that comes in. So when it comes to bank, imagine how much data security will be applicable to those, right? So there are a lot of things that happens, but this is how AI will help you to tackle those kinds of scenarios as well, right? Similarly, if we talk about one of the example is to farm out again, how they are efficiently using those AI satellites for farmers. So they captures real-time satellite images. They have a application which they are connected in their smartphone of the farmers. And suppose in a particular crop, they basically use different kinds of image analysis, sensor based analysis to capture the data on real time, right? Now suppose the farmer is farming a land and he has some crops which is not detect or not able to test out well, for example. Now it is giving a lot of issues on those type of crops, right? How those AI will identify those, right? Can we find out certain area where we can solve those problems? So automatically what farm out is doing is they are giving out AI related alerts and identification that these are the particular area which you should focus on, right? Do some pesticides and do some things so that your farming grows. So with those help, they are able to increase around 25% of farming. Imagine, it's a simple AI based system that they have created, which is helping the farmers when to cultivate, right? When to harvest their crops, right? And they should use their pesticides in such a way that it should not cover the entire area, but which particular portion of that area they should be doing those things, which in turn helping them increasing around 20 to 30% of yield year by year, right? It's a very huge company they have made out. It's a startup that has come out, and they have increased a lot right? Helping the farmers cultivating their crops very well nowadays, right? And that is where AI is helping us a lot, right? Again, right? Uh, Many of you are already in different metropolitan city, right? And you will be seeing Zepto a lot, right? Again, how they are using efficiently, they are using a dark store model, right? We already know that, right? And many of you already will know that if you order something on Zepto and automatically it comes within 10 to 15 minutes, right? And they have used very strategically this kind of concept and very architecturally properly designed, properly augmented. So what they do is basically set up a dark store model on certain locations, right? The reason is they find out, they analyze, they find out where the demand is high, right? Which particular location the demands are huge, right? Can they set up those stores over there so that they can reach very easily, right? And that is how Zepto has done, right? Covering a lot of area across based on the demand surge that is coming out, right? And that is what they are doing. Even if you talk about Uber and Ola, they are also coming out with some plans of groceries, right? Because they already have the historical data of different customers as well as the demands where the customers peaks are high. So they can easily set up and create their vertical industry specific areas as well, like what Zomato did it for Blinkit. So these are some real life examples which will help where AI is highly used and efficiently used to increase their growth in their business, right? And that is what they have done. So increase in accuracy as well as 15 to 20% reduction in delivery cost, 40% better inventories turnover versus traditional stores. Imagine that what Zepto did, right? They have a huge competition in the market, whether it is Big Basket, Blinkit, and all, but still Zepto is performing way better than what they are doing, right? Right? But the use of AI is efficiently they are doing, and that is how they are increasing their augmentation process as well, right? Any questions before we jump into the port sector, right? Any questions that you have? From anyone? Yeah. All right. So quickly, I will jump into the port sector where we have completely, basically, I was the team lead over here, and I was able to manage around 10 people in my team, which have a lot of data scientists as well as data analysts as well as some statisticians as well, where we have delivered this project in a record time. One of the port was a JNPT port, right? And as we have our own data science platform, which help us to automate the entire process as well as come out with better inference and insights, right? So that is what we did it for entire port. So I'll share a quick video first of all, so that you get a better idea what we have done, and then we can jump into the actual area. So quickly, what I'll do is let me share my screen again. Just a minute. Yeah. So I hope my screen is visible. I'll just so an entire cockpit was built for them. Okay.
So is there any sound? Because we cannot hear anything.
Okay. So what I have done is, I hope you have understood the video first of all, right? And there are two things in this video. I'll just quickly again share my screen. One is the port that we developed. So starting from this particular section, so we have developed an entire smart port operations where we have entirely covered all those different functional areas that port mostly happens or takes, right? Whether it is finance, material, traffic, marine, sales. So entire cockpit that they want to see, right? Previously, they have already have different systems with them. All right, they have SAP, they have other tools which they were using, but the output was not that much they were able to get out from those tools, right? So again, tools play a major factor if you use them intelligently and efficiently, right? And that is where our platform Rubyscape came into picture, and that's where this AI. So JNPT is one of the port they have basically taken up Rubyscape, and from there we start with the projects, right? So what we did is we covered this entire modules, right? We given an entire cockpit view to them, to the stakeholders, so that they can understand where and what is happening. Because previously they were just getting the data, right? But they were not able to take decisions, right? But now what they are able to see, they are able to see their entire analytics in a phone, right? So we have set up in such a way that within every day they will just open up their phone and they will check, okay, this is the traffic, this much ships has been vesseled out, this is the throughput that has came out. So all those things they were able to get that in a particular phone as well. So we covered this entire areas of different things. We sat with the stakeholders, understand their requirements, right? Understand their KPIs, their data points, understand how the process happens. It took some time for us, around half of a month, to understand how the stakeholders thought processes, what and how they used to take decisions, right? And based on that, we defined proper KPIs with them. And from there, we build an entire automated cockpit. So now the data directly comes from their source system. We process that data, put that into a target data marts. From there, they are automatically getting dashboards as well as alerts if any kind of data is crossing through their thresholds, right? Which in turn, effectively, they are able to use it and optimizing their operational efficiencies as well, right? So one is the chairman view. If you see the first screen that I have just shown you, that is the chairman view, where the chairman wants to understand the entire holistic view of the business. He does not want to see any other things. He just wants the entire view. And next is the business heads, the functional heads, which they want to go into depth, understand what is happening in their business, want to drill down and find out, okay, this is the things that is happening, right? Now, again, the functional heads are not developers, right? And they are not programmers. We need to make them in such a way and such comfortable that they can easily use this platform, democratize it, right? And continuously using that. So whatever you have seen with edit mode, going into drag and drop, creating charts, annotations, that's where they're able to democratize themselves. They are not programmers, right? They are a business people who needs to take action, right? So we created this application in such a way that they're just dragging out a chart, want some analysis, or for example, they have already built a dashboard, want some summary out of that, they will put that in GenAI and automatically a smart insights will get you and give you proper summaries of that. That is how we have developed this application, which in turn helping them smartly use it and helping them improve efficiency. So one of the areas that I have taken out over here is traffic, right? And the data is very, very difficult in capturing traffic related data, because in traffic, mostly the people who manages that does not have time to record the data as well, right? So first of all, they need to set up a system over there, right? And that is a major problem for them. So we went into their dockyards, understand how the flow happens, right? We also pitch them certain tools which will help them to record those data points. For example, how the vessels are coming, what is the real-time traffic they are having, right? Or for example, how many containers are coming into the gates, how many they are going out. So all these things, they need to be recorded first of all. So once they start recording, we got those historical data from that, right? From there, we were able to build this entire automation pipeline, which helped them to understand every day how much they are able to understand, or how much traffic throughput they are having, right? Understand those historical data points, help us in building forecasting models, right? Which now we are doing in advanced areas as well. We are digging dive into forecasting how much traffic the next week they are going to have, and how they should prepare based on that, right? How they should have proper optimization of those areas as well. So we are able to do those things nowadays because they're capturing data. And as I've told, data is very important. When you have your historical data, you can bring out patterns from that. And that is what we are doing right now, helping them to generate those patterns. And with those, we are able to forecast that properly. So this is one of the area where we are able to help them in a lot of things. The value impact I have written in the below slides as well. But this is one of the areas they were mostly focusing on, and they were very happy with this. Implementing changes in those areas, pain points, and how AI is effectively using those with a particular platform is helping them to generate some optimizations as well. Similarly, we have been marine. Marine is another area. Again, these are the 2 points which I have taken where the data capturation is very difficult, right? As well as JNPT is a kind of port which is huge. India is one of the largest port we are talking about, right? And taking data from marine functional heads is very difficult for us because we have to sit with the marine people, understand how they are using those vessels and all, how they are capturing those berth timings and all, and how they can optimize those things. So we have to strategically give them those insights based on the data that is that they already have data, but they are all in fragmented in silos. What we did, we start capturing those data points, made it proper structure, and then we have gone into better analysis. We have also tried to capture their weather data as well, as because they required those analysis as well. So they already have an implemented system for that, because for them to understand the weather is very important, because they have to travel from one port to another port of different countries, right? Different cities, right? So weather is very important, and we were also able to externally take those data points, message those in our analysis as well, and then giving out proper insights to that, whether it is a ship data, proper planning of birds, right? Taking data from AI's weather data and all, which help in turn reducing a lot of efficiently using those AI as well, and helping them in operational efficiencies as well, right? So whether it is predicting accurate vessel arrival times or optimizing berth allocations dynamically, so right, as well as handling turnaround time. So they are facing a major problem in that, right? Their cycle time was very high because a vessel is coming and they are stuck because there are no place to stand out, right? So what they needs to do after that? So can we predict those things, right? So when the vessel should arrive, or what is the time, how we should manage those properly. So that is what we did, right? Right. As a basic, as a intermediate step, we have already done that, but still it is in progress. We are also developing those forecasting and predictive optimizations, which is helping them in a better way to properly plan and manage those as well, right? Some of the impact that we have created for traffic is real-time traffic monitoring and dashboards that we have created. Previously, it was manually done, but now they have a proper visibility, proactive responses we are able to take by them. Next is gate entry and exit optimization. Previously, there were long queues, manual checks needs to be happen, slow processing time. We have reduced that. We have a proper automated gate control with reduced turnaround time, which help them in turn reduce a lot of traffic as well, right? Reactive planning, we are doing this right now. Traffic flow, there were no proper plan of traffic. If you see the entire port containers travel area, it is totally blocked because a lot of containers used to come at one particular point of time. So can we schedule that properly? Can we smartly plan and schedule those flow properly? That is what we are in progress now. We are doing that, understanding those flows, when is and what is required. And that is how we are managing those entirely, right? As well as berth and yard movement coordination. Yes, delays in container movement was a major problem and challenges that we were facing. And from that, we were able to smoothly impacting those things as well, which in turn helping them in increasing operational efficiency as well, right? Finally, for marine, vessel wait time, previously it was 8 to 12 hours average, but we have reduced that to 30 to 50%. It depends on, again, the availability of that particular location. So with those alerts, with those proper live analytics that we have done, we were able to reduce that. Previously, birth utilizations, which was a major challenge, right? Because it incurs a lot of cost. So that is what previously 60 to 70% without AI, which is getting lost. But now it has optimized. We were able to do that very accurately nowadays, right? And turnaround time, very important for marine, because it mostly takes 1.5 days average. Now it has reduced to 20 to 40% as well. So these are not the impact what I am telling, but the people on that particular area, they were able to came out with this type of actions. Now what they are planning to move towards better generative AI kind of a model, right? Which in turn help them giving more better proactive actions, right? Augmented actions, which will help them to take better actions out of this as well, right? So entire implementations of these 12 functional areas with different kinds of analytics, we were able to done that in within 3 months, right? Which in turn quite a record time, because they already have a big giant SAP in their system, but they were not able to do that. And we were able to completely understand their requirements, understand their KPIs, and able to deliver that within record time. So that is how this tool help us, because we are utilizing this tool. So tools can be anything, but Rubyscape as a tool, which is our own made in India platform, help us to quickly adapt those data points, help us to manage those data points, quickly throw them into those challenges, finding out the KPI and the main data points, and we were able to structure that properly, which helped in turn giving proper automation to them. So that is how we did the entire port analysis by using AI efficiently over there. Any questions on this? Anyone is having any questions?
Sir, in chat, there is one question from Ashwini Sarvi ma'am that there are many pros but cons are also like AI voice recognition for doing frauds. How can it be prevented?
There are many pros but cons like AI voice recognition for doing frauds. Okay. How it can be prevented? Okay. First of all, preventing frauds.
नहीं वो दोबारा किसी ने क्या बोला कि इसका आंसर नहीं दूंगा.
I have already given this answer. Should I repeat it again?
No, sir. No, sir.
But the one of the major important thing that I would tell is secure your own data first of all, right? And preventing AI through frauds. And I've already told the police in different areas are doing those things, right? So they are setting up certain apps which is helping them to understand whether it is an AI based or whether it is a manual phone call that is coming out. Both can be frauds, but still they are able to understand those things, right? And they have a proper pattern, right? If you understand that pattern, you will easily, for example, if you have seen latest frauds happen where they try you to give you $120 each if you try to give them likes and share in Instagram or Facebook, right? And they were able to give you 120 or 250 rupees. And this was one of the major frauds that was happening, which was busted by the police, right? And what they have done is they have created a chat bot in doing those things, right? The chat bot used to give them this kind of things, right? If you participate in giving 5 likes to this Instagram post, we will give you $250. So people were able to grasp those and they were able to get into those things. So once they start engaging those people, what they used to do is they used to take them out. They used to tell them that if you pay 10,000, you will get more than 20,000. And people have already done that. But later it was busted by the police. So that was a total AI based driven that they have created. But to prevent all those things, first of all, as per my experience, whether it is voice, whether it is non-voice, whether it is AI, non-AI based, nothing is free, right? So if you get anything for free, that is a one of the most mistakeful thing that you're going to do. Next is be preventive on your data, right? Because if you share your data very easily, that takes a major problem, because anyone have the data can take a major advantage. One of the example that I can give you is if I share my screen again, you will like this example. I hope you're able to see a girl's face, everyone, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct. So, and if I refresh, yeah, if I refresh this girl's face, automatically a new picture comes in, right? Again, if I refresh this page, automatically a new picture comes in, and I am 100% sure this person does not existed in this world, right? It's an AI based algorithm that is creating this. You might have heard of this particular algorithm called as generative adversarial network, called as GAN, one of the best algorithm done by NVIDIA as well, right? And they have came out with the kind of algorithm which creates a facial picture of you based on the previous pictures that you used to come out, right? And again, this is a real life example story that I'm giving you. You all have heard of 2016 US elections, right? Where President Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, there was a huge fight, right? And everybody thought Hillary Clinton will win, but suddenly you have seen the entire results fluctuates, right? Everything changed. Donald Trump clinched the victory on that particular 2016 elections, right? There was a particular journalist called as Candor Candeviller. Her name was like this. She has found out the dark side of social media. There was a company called as Cambridge Analytica, which used to have 5,000 data points of one US individual. Imagine 5,000 data points, right? It's huge, right? So if you are a US individual, uh, Cambridge Analytica would know when you are going to sleep, when you are walking out, when you are moving out, when you're using Twitter, when you're using Facebook. They already have those data points, right? Suppose if you see any post of Hillary Clinton, automatically a trigger post comes out that Donald Trump is much done better things than in US than this Hillary Clinton. So these are certain factors where you can vote for Donald Trump. It's a totally AI based war that was happening, right? And I will tell everyone to watch a movie called as Great Hack, and this movie gives you that entire scenario of what has happened. It's a documentary film and it is great, and how the war happens when Cambridge Analytica played a very vital role for Donald Trump, right? So to prevent this, the journalists found out later that there are billions of fake user accounts which was created by an application or by an algorithm, right? But again, sharing the data is the most important, and you have to be very much responsible for that, right? I hope that answered your questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So there is one more question
Yeah.
by Dr. RJE. They have mentioned that could you share an example where AI failed or underperformed in port management, and what was the
Absolutely,
learning?
yes, correct.
Yeah.
So one of the examples that I will give you in finance, right? So finance people, it is very difficult. Why? Because managing those entire finance operations in a port, it is very, very difficult. When I have went into their department functional heads, talked with them, understood their processes, yes, it is very difficult, because sometimes what happens is they do purchase, right? They some inventories goes out, some inventory comes in, right? Every day it happens like that, and they already there is a system to record those, but still there are backdated entries that happens, right? And to manage those backdated entries in those systems takes a very difficult process for them, and for us to do those automation of those backdated entries also takes a lot of problem for us, right? To understand, right? And again, uh, still, if you talk about JNPT is one of the example, but if you talk about other ports in India, they are mostly facing challenges in data capturation and storing. That is a major problem that they are facing. Again, most of the functional heads are using Excel because they have found out very familiar. But the problem in Excel is it is totally semi-automated. It's not automated at all, right? And it is silos here and there. You take any format, you put that in a format. This is a typical practical example that I'm giving you, that you put it in a format, you share that, right? That is a major problem. So each format becomes different. Each format is not at all properly structured. So that becomes a major problem in analyzing those data points, capturing those, putting those in proper structured way, and then coming out with a proactive action takes a lot of time as well as a lot of effort in doing that, right? Yeah, and it can happen to academic institutions as well. So suppose if you are maintaining everything on Excel, imagine how much trouble you will have when analyzing those data points, or even getting out those data points for your better accuracy, or your better decision making, right? It is one of the major challenges that I faced, right? So the learning is, uh, we keep on helping to shift their mindset, helping them to create some quick smart applications where You don't need much effort. You can easily load the data, right? And once we give them the action out of our AI analytics, they were able to understand, okay, this is giving me benefit, right? This is giving me some actions, right? Which in turn is helping me to automate other processes as well. And that is where these things are helping. So that is one of the learning that I have been through this.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Any other question, participants? Okay,
So,
I guess, sir, yeah,
yeah.
please
So
continue.
before ending, I'll just say efficiency is not about just working harder. We all do that. It's about how you work smarter, and AI is the smartest tool that we have got, right? So we are not moving into AI powered world. What it is happening is, are you using AI to automate or amplify your impact, right? That is the most important thing, right? How well you are using those AI and helping yourself to grow and to help you create much more impactful and way, right? That is what I would tell finally. Yeah. Thank you. So
Thank you so
thank you.
much.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. And I guess thank you to you, ma'am, as well, for getting me in this faculty development program. And I would love to connect with you all again anytime it is possible as well.
Indeed, sir, indeed. It was really wonderful, examples you have given, which is really, it made us to think that this is what is happening with AI, and we are not using that much. Though, at the contrary, though AI is so much, doing changes in the world, but at the other end, it is really scary part as well. So,
Correct.
as you rightly mentioned, that we have to be, as a very we have to think twice the kind of information what we are sharing. But
Correct.
on the other parts are everything online, they need a basic data. So that I think nobody can avoid it. So automatically all the data has been stored.
Correct.
So
Theoretically,
it's
it is
wonderful. So yeah,
correct. Theoretically, it is very easy to say, but when it comes to practical scenarios, we face those challenges, and
absolutely.
that is very important. Yeah.
So thank you so much once again. So it was wonderful session and you gave all the answer that is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Participants, I would just like to invite Dr. Sudhir Hasamni sir to just give you the overall concluding part of this FDP. If in case you have any doubt regarding, so he is here to help us out. Over to you, sir.
Hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
So there will be vote of thanks from Rupali once I finish this. But before that, let me also thank the ISAMR management, Dr. Abhay Kulkarni, our director, Rupali Modak, because she has done a fantastic job to coordinate over 5 days. And this was a tremendous FDP, I can see that. So I will just conclude with few things. One is that we did it from 4th to 8th of this month. And over the period, we actually have had the audience of more than 970 people joining the 5 days FDP. And moreover, the most important thing is the figure is very interesting. We had 2,800 plus listening hours. So it's a huge kind of FDP what we had, and I can say that it was a great success. And thanks to management who organized this FDP on AI, and also all of you who you kept on joining the FDP sessions. It is really tough to join in the second of the half of the day, but it was great learning for all of us. Though this subject is known to most of us, but we got a lot of insights during all the 5 days, and on the 4th of August, we had a very good session on customer experience, and Dr. Abhay Kulkarni and Renu Rajesh conducted it. On 5th, we had a very good session from JWPR to begin with, and then we had a panel discussion on HR processes, where Anuradha Jain, Priyanka Shah, Vidya Chavan, and Dr. Minal participated. It was very good interactive session from both the sides, from speakers and the participants. On 6th, we had a operations and supply chain session where Saurabh Gite and myself, we conducted a small session, and we also showed one wonderful video on basically how robotics and AI is helping for supply chain. On finance, we had a so yesterday we had a fraud detection algorithmic trading credit scoring by Gaurav Bora and Shafiq Yadikar. And today we had a very good session on by Sunil Manikeni and Prayas Bose. And Prayas, your session was really good, very sort of a very informative and detailed, but very simple to understand for everybody. Your that clip, though it was a little bit fast, but we could see that the efforts you have put to make it more sort of a user friendly, because we know that the leadership they have no time to go into the details, but the kind of details we have created in a visual format. And I think that is what you say, that data storytelling, you are specialists in that. So that was very useful to all of us. So thank you once again to all of you. And I'm handing over to Rupali to do the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I'd like to request our FDP coordinator, Ms. Rupali Motor, to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, madam. Thank you so much, ma'am. As we conclude this insightful 5 days National Faculty Development Program on deep dive into AI opportunities, I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude on behalf of the entire IICMR family. First and foremost, I extend a sincere thank you to our visionary director, Dr. Abhay Kulkarni, sir, whose guidance and constant support made this FDP a grand success. Your leadership truly inspires us to aim higher. A big thank you to all our distinguished speakers for sharing your valuable expertise. Each day added a new dimensions to our understanding of AI in functional domains, sparkling curiosity and thoughtful reflection among all participants. To our enthusiastic participants, of course, thank you for your active engagement, presence, and thoughtful questions. Your involvement brought true meaning to this event. And lastly, I would like to sincerely thank our coordinators for making this FDP a smooth and successful event. Thank you, everyone. I declare that this FDP program is over. You can leave the meeting. And also, I have shared the feedback in the chat as well as in the WhatsApp group. So kindly fill the feedback form. Thank you.
Certificate.
Rupali, regarding
yes, certificate will also be provided to you on your registered email ID. Within 1 or day 2, you will be getting the certificate.
Thank you, ma'am. One more request, participants are requested to keep your camera on.
Good.